way you can try to reduce your carbon emissions is getting an EV, although I wouldn't recommend getting a Chinese one. Apparently, there are thousands of Chinese electric vehicles parked next to Australia's largest military airbase. You cannot make this up. There are thousands of EVs from the brand JQ, which is a sub-brand of Chinese automobile maker Chery Automobile, and they're parked literally right next to the RAAF base Amberley, southwest of Brisbane. Now, keep in mind, the United States, under Joe Biden, hardly a national security hawk like Trump, they banned Chinese EVs from 2027. In Australia, under Malcolm Turnbull, we said we would not have Chinese businesses involved in our 5G network because it compromises Australia too much. Meanwhile, we have Chinese electric vehicles that with the touch of a button from an engineer over in China can listen to everything you're doing, can record everything that's happening, can also blow up because they've got batteries in them, and they are sitting just meters away from our largest airbase. This is incomprehensible.
Well, it gets even worse. In the UK, the government have mandated that Chinese-made EVs can't be within 3.2 kilometres of a military site. And in China, interestingly enough, Teslas are not allowed near military sites. Teslas being, of course, American and...
but also made in China, a lot of them too.
Well, yes, but some of the electronics. But then Tony Burke, you'll remember, was warned by his own department to be wary of his electric vehicle because there were concerns that it might be snooping on him and obtain, classified information. So the fact we've got thousands, you saw the photos there, right beside the Amberley RAAF base, and since News Corp ran a story about a similar site south of Sydney where there are thousands of EVs just parked, no one can work out why they're there or who authorised it. People have been contacting News Corp about other military sites, ports, as well as airports where there are similar scenes. Hundreds, thousands of Chinese-made EVs all being stored. No one knows exactly when they were put there, why they're there, how long they'll be there for. It's very suspicious, and 4 out of the top 10 selling cars last month in this country were Chinese-built EVs. This is a increasing problem that the government seem to either not care about or they literally don't know what to do about it.
Well, you mentioned Tony Burke. I'm aware of another federal Labor minister who was interested in, but ultimately opted not to take on a Chinese EV because of that concern over being monitored. Quite a high-up minister, it should be said. Just to park, the security issues for just a moment, we should also consider that what appears to me to be dumping of Chinese vehicles in Australia. Because it's not uncommon if you go past major airports or shipping ports to see new vehicles that have been brought into the country lined up. It's a pretty standard thing. But it's highly unusual for them to be put in places far away from where they've been delivered to, because they get delivered to a port or an airport and then they're taken off to dealerships generally. They're held there for a very short period of time. But when you've got Chinese vehicles being taken to private property next to RAAF bases or taken to Jamberoo, which is near enough to 2 hours south of Sydney, you've got to start to wonder, why are they so desperate to find land on which they can store all of these Chinese EVs? Because they are cornering the market. So they bring too many in, or they bring in more than they need to supply the Australian market. You then crunch the market. Because there are so many of them here, it drives down the prices of the vehicles, and then all of a sudden China's cornered the market and there's nothing you can do about it. And I'm sure that's what they're doing here.